Hello students, let us start our new session with the new topic, Wheatstone Bridge. Here we are going to apply a Kirchhoff rules to understand the function of Wheatstone Bridge. Here four resistors are connected in bridge structure. Between R1, R2 and R3 and R4, four resistors are connected in kind of a single loop. Between point A and C, diagonal points, battery is connected and that is known as a battery arm. Remaining two diagonal points between B and D, we are going to connect a galvanometer and that's why it's known as a galvanometer arm. Here we are assuming that galvanometer has no internal resistance for the simplicity purpose. Now, this bridge, we want to get it to balance condition. Balance condition we can obtain when no current is passing through the galvanometer. While from the positive terminal of the battery, current is reached at the point A, it will be divided in two parts, I1 and I2. I1 is flowing between A to D and I2 is flowing from A to B. As the I1 current reach at point D, it's supposed to have two paths, galvanometer and towards a C. And we are assuming that no current is passing through galvanometer, Ig is 0. So the I1 current is flowing from D to C, I3 as it is. So we can say that I1 equal to I3. Same as I2 current reach at point B, it has two paths to flow, from galvanometer and from B to C. Again, our assumption that no current is flowing through the galvanometer, so my Ig would be 0. So total current is flowing from B to C. So we can say that over here my I2 equal to I4. If we are applying a junction rule at point B and D, so same equation is arised. I2 incoming current equal to I4 outgoing current. Ig is 0. That is our assumption. At the point D, again, if we apply the junction rule, I1 incoming current equal to I3 outgoing current. So at both the ways, we are having that equation I2 equal to I4 and I1 equal to I3, which can be obtained over here. Now, here we are going to apply a Kirchhoff loop rule. Let us apply in first triangle loop rule. So my equation becomes minus I1 R1, that is the potential difference between A and D, minus 0 or plus 0, doesn't matter because galvanometer has no internal resistance, so no potential drop is there. And potential difference between B and A is plus I2 R2 because current direction from A to D and B to A is opposite. So one is a minus, another one is plus, equal to 0. So my equation becomes I1 R1 equal to I2 R2. So that is I1 by I2 equal to R2 by R1. Same way apply the loop rule in another half of triangle and my equation becomes I4 R4 minus I3 R3 equal to 0. And as by applying a junction rule, we have I1 equal to I3 and I2 equal to R4. Apply this equation over here. So my equation became I2 R4 equal to I1 R3. So I1 by I2 equal to R4 by R3. And above we have obtained I1 by I2 equal to R2 by R1. So we can equate I1 by I2. So we have the equation R2 by R1 equal to R4 by R3. This is what a balance condition for the bridge with Ig equals to 0. Or we can say that if we are having that condition R2 by R1 equal to R4 by R3, then no current is going to flow through the galvanometer, that Ig will be 0 and this is balance condition is available for the bridge. Now, this same equation can also be utilized if any of the resistor is unknown. For example, R1, R2 and R3 is known value in that Wheatstone bridge. R4 we don't know. So we want to determine the value of R4. And same we are saying that no current is flowing through the galvanometer. Ig is 0. So this symmetry equation we can utilize and make the subject of formula R4. So it becomes R2 R3 by R1. So this is how Wheatstone bridge is also utilized to get the unknown resistor value by deflecting no current is flowing through the galvanometer. Now this principle of Wheatstone bridge we are going to utilize in a next topic, that is a meter bridge. Before understanding a meter bridge, let us go through the example of Wheatstone bridge. Here 4 resistors are given. Let us go through the title first. 4 amps of Wheatstone bridge have the following resistance: AB equal to 100 ohm, BC equal to 10 ohm, CD equal to 5 ohm and DA equal to 60 ohm. A galvanometer of 15 ohm internal resistance is connected across B and D. Calculate the current through the galvanometer when a potential difference of 10 volt is maintained across A and C. So now in this network, 5 resistance values are given: R1, R2, R3, R4 and internal resistance of galvanometer. So we can say that here Ig won't be 0. Some non-zero value is supposed to be present. We need to determine that galvanometer current. To get that current, again we need to apply a loop rule. Apply loop rule in first half. So that is between in the loop BADB. So my equation becomes 100 I1 plus 15 Ig minus 60 I2 equal to 0. Because I1 Ig current direction is same, I2 in the opposite direction, so that potential difference taken negative. So my resultant equation becomes 20 I1 plus 3 Ig minus 12 I2 equal to 0. Likewise apply loop rule in the second half triangle in BCDB rule. So that is 10 I1 minus Ig minus 5 I2 plus Ig minus 15 Ig. Here BC sign is potential difference sign is taken positive, but BD and Ig current is opposite with respect to BC current direction. So this both potential difference sign is taken negative, and the resultant equation becomes 2 I1 minus 6 Ig minus I2 equal to 0. Now apply the loop rule into the another loop ADCEA, that is by including the 10 volt cell value. So here my equation becomes 10 cell potential equal to 60 I2 plus 5 I2 plus Ig, and resultant equation 13 I2 plus Ig equal to 2. Now we have 3 equations, 3 unknowns. Try to solve it and be able to get the value of Ig. For that solution, second equation is multiplied with the 10. So becomes 20 I1 minus 60 Ig minus 10 I2 equal to 0. So from the first and this fourth, equate it and we have 63 Ig minus 2 I2 equal to 0. So I2 equal to 31.5 Ig. So fifth equation we obtain having 2 variable I2 and Ig. And third equation we have the same variable I2 and Ig. From this third and fifth we able to get the value, and that Ig equals to 4.87 ampere. So this is how we able to get the galvanometer current. When internal resistance is present, current is flowing through it. So here we are going to end our this session. Hope you understood. Thank you. Hello students, let us start our new session with the new topic. It's a meter bridge. Now in the meter bridge, we are taking a wire with the length of 1 meter. That wire is connected between point A and C. With that, we are giving a supply epsilon EMF with the plug key. Now with that metal wire, stretch dot the area we are having with the clamp metallic strips are there at point A. One banded strip is there at the point C. Another banded clamp strip is there. With that, another metallic plate is available by keeping some space. So at point B, that metallic plate is available. Now in that, between A to B and B to C, some space is available. With that space, we are connecting a resistor values between A and B metallic plate. R resistor is connected. Between B and C, another S resistor is connected. Now, we are connecting a galvanometer from point B. One end of the galvanometer is connected at point B. Another point of galvanometer is connected with a jockey. Jockey is a kind of movable device whose end point is just like a knife torch, and it is movable over the wire between A and C. Now, so this structure is become like a bridge between A and B, R resistor, between B and C, S resistor. Between A and D, for example, the length is available as in L right now. So total length A and C, total wire length is available, for example, 100 centimeter. Right. So what will happen? Between A to D, we have a L length. So between D and C, it should have 100 minus L length. Now, resistance of a wire is R per unit length, for example. So the resistance between A and D is R into L, and resistance between D and C is R into 100 minus L. So 4 resistance are there between A and B R, B and C S, A and D having RL resistance, and between D and C having R into 100 minus L resistor. So now 4 arms having 4 different resistors, the structure is like having a bridge. Why? Because 2 diagonal points A and C having a cell battery connection, and opposite points B and D having a galvanometer. Now we try to get that from the galvanometer no current supposed to flow. For that, we are moving a jockey over the wire. So D point is moving slightly, generally around the middle point. So while we are moving slightly, at one point we are having that Ig current from the galvanometer, we are getting 0. For example, that point is L1 from the A. So between A to D, the length is L1, and from D to C, that length becomes 100 minus L1. So my resistance value between A to D is now RL1, and between D to C is R into 100 minus L1. Right? So now, for that bridge balance condition, we have from the Wheatstone bridge, the equation is R by S equal to RL1 divided by R 100 minus L1. Here it is noted as R centimeter, that is R centimeter of meter scale, resistance of meter scale. So that is RCM is defined. So RCM L1 by RCM 100 minus L1. RCM would be cancelled out. So R by S equal to L1 divided by 100 minus L1. Now, if we are assuming that R is the unknown value and we want to determine it, So here if S is known, L1 value we are getting by moving the jockey over the wire. So now L1 is also we are going to determine. So S is known, L1 we have determined. By having this condition, our unknown resistance value we able to calculate it. Now jockey we are moving manually. So we can get some error to get the value of L1, and it is directly reflected to calculate the resistance value. Generally L1 is nearby the center. If 100 centimeter meter scale length wire is there, so this would be a 50 centimeter L1 or around it would be available. Now for that one example we are going to understand. In a meter bridge, the null point is found at a distance 33.7 centimeter from A. If now a resistance of 12 ohm is connected in parallel with S, the null point across at 51.9 centimeter, determine the values of R and S. Now what will happen? L1 is given and we need to determine the value of R and S. So what will happen? First equation L1 is 33.7 is given. So R by S equal to L1 upon 100 minus L1. L1 is 33.7 centimeter. So R by S equal to 33.7 divided by 66.3. Now second condition is given. If 12 ohm resistor is connected in parallel of S, so equivalent of S is parallel combination S into 12 by S plus 12. So now that null condition for that point is given 51.9. So now my equation becomes R by S equivalent equal to 51.9 divided by 100 minus 51.9, and that is 48.1. So my equation becomes R by S is replaced by the above value 33.7 by 66.3. So my value is 51.9 divided by 48.1 equal to S plus 12 by 12 into 33.7 divided by 66.3. From this equation we can able to get the value of S. Replace this S in the first equation and we able to get the value of R, 6.86 ohm. Now the next point is a potentiometer. Basically over here we tried to get the function of potentiometer in which we are taking a length of the wire. If instead of taking a whole piece of wire, we are going to connect in small parts, and these small parts of the wires can be connected with metal plates as shown in the figure. A to C is the length of the wire. This is connected in small parts and at each end a metallic plate is connected. Now it's a potential difference between A and any point at the length L is phi into L. Phi is the potential drop per unit length of the wire. So for L length the potential difference is phi into L. This condition we are using to compare the EMF of two cells. For example, as shown in figure A, we are using a switch with 3 terminals, that is a two-way switch. 1, 2, 3 notation is given. Between A point and 1, first cell epsilon 1 is connected. Between A and 2 point, epsilon 2 is connected. From point 3, galvanometer is connected and another point is connected with the jockey, that is connected with the wire. Now first a switch is connected between point 1 and 3. At that time apply the Kirchhoff loop rule to A and 1 the point of the N1 where while the cell epsilon 1 is there, current is not flowing through galvanometer. While the epsilon 1 cell is connected, we try to get that the balance condition and it is available at the point N1. So apply the loop rule between A, N1. So A to N1 is the wire length through G galvanometer, point 3 of the switch, point 1 of the switch, 1 and 3 is now connected. So epsilon 1 comes into the picture and point A. So in that particular loop, if we apply the loop rule, phi L1, phi is the potential difference of wire per unit length. So total potential difference is phi L1 up to N1 point. Galvanometer has a 0 potential difference minus epsilon 1 equal to 0. So my equation becomes epsilon 1 equal to phi L1. Likewise, now if switch is connected between 2 and 3, so 1 is open now. So again apply loop rule at point A, now N1. While epsilon 2 is available, current is not flowing through galvanometer at point N2. So A to N2 to G to 3 to epsilon 2 to A. So what will happen now? My potential difference of the wire is phi L2 plus 0 galvanometer potential difference minus epsilon 2 of the cell equal to 0. So now my equation becomes epsilon 2 equal to phi L2. So from the first equation, phi equal to epsilon 1 by L1, and from second equation phi equals to epsilon 2 by L2. Compare both the equations. So my equation becomes epsilon 1 by epsilon 2 equal to L1 by L2. So here this simple mechanism allow us to compare the EMF between two sources. And this one of the cells is chosen as a standard cell whose EMF is known as a higher degree of accuracy. The EMF of the other cell is then easily can be calculated through the above equation, epsilon 1 by epsilon 2 equal to L1 by L2. Now this kind of condition is also can be utilized to measure the internal resistance of the cell. For that, for example, refer this diagram. Here, one cell is connected at point A. With that in the parallel, a resistance box is connected via K2 plug switch. Now, we want to determine this internal resistance of the cell. Now, what will happen? When K2 is open, then from point A, cell is connected via galvanometer and it will be ended at the point N1 where the galvanometer current is going to be 0. So at that time, we apply the KVL loop rule and my epsilon becomes phi L1. Right? Now if switch becomes closed, K2 becomes closed, so resistance box comes into the picture, and at that time galvanometer current Ig would become 0 at point N2. So at that time my potential difference, it becomes V equal to phi L2. V is the potential drop across the resistance box. So that potential difference equal to phi L2. So this is how two conditions are obtained. Epsilon equal to phi L1 and V equal to phi L2. Make the subject of formula of phi both the sides and compare both the equation. So it will become epsilon by V equal to I1 by I2. And we know that epsilon equal to IR. Small r is internal resistance of the cell plus capital R the resistance connected externally, that is a resistance of resistor box, and V equal to IR that is a potential difference across resistor box. R is the resistance of that resistor box. So epsilon by V is nothing but R plus R divided by R. So now that epsilon by V equation and we obtain through the length of the wire, equate it. So we have the value R plus R by R equal to L1 plus L2. Make the subject of formula R, small r. So we have the value R into L1 by L2 minus 1. So by having this equation, using this structure phenomena, we also able to get the internal resistance of the cell. Here the potentiometer has the advantage that it draws no current from the voltage source being measured and it is unaffected by the internal resistance of the source. Now we are going through the example for the potentiometer. A resistance of R ohm draws a current from a potentiometer. The potentiometer has a total resistance 80 ohm. A voltage V is supplied to the potentiometer. Derive an expression for the voltage across R when the sliding contact is in the middle of the potentiometer. Now, while we slide the potentiometer at the middle point of R0, so basically between point A and B, R0 becomes R by 2 in parallel with the capital R. So my resultant equation is become parallel combination of R and R0 by 2. So by having its parallel equation, we can directly get the value 1 by R1 equal to 1 by R plus 1 by R0 by 2. And by solving this, R0 into R upon R0 by 2R. Now we want to get the total resistance between A and C. So between A and B, we have the equation R1, and between B and C, R0 becomes R0 by 2. These two resistors are in series. So we have the total resistance between A and C is R1 plus R0 by 2. That is a series combination equation. Now in series, current remains same. So I equals to V by R equivalent. That R equivalent is nothing but R1 plus R0 by 2. So that is 2V by 2R1 plus R0. And V1 taken from the potentiometer, that will be the product of V1 equals to IR1. So I equation we have determined 2V upon 2R1 plus R0. Now in this V1 equation, replace the value of R1 and we solve that condition. So we have the final equation of V1 is 2VR divided by R0 plus 4R. Okay, so here we are going to end our session with that. That is the end of the chapter. Hope you understood the whole chapter thoroughly. Thank you.